Well, welcome. I'm super excited about our next session. We are going to learn from Hamid Qayyum, who is EVP Products Marketing Stirista, all about going for gold. So I'm really excited to get Hamid up here and to join me. So welcome. Oh, I'm enjoying the picture already in your background. Now, that is somewhere I'd like to be, on that beach
Yes,
behind you.
me
Looks
too. I wish I was there as well. If I
look
can't be there, I am very excited to be here talking about how to get gold right out of marketing. That's what it's all about.
absolutely. It's all going to be all about the right data, the right channels, and I'm going to hand over to hear all about it from you. Looking forward to it hugely,
Great.
and I'll be back for questions.
Great. Thank you very much. Can everybody see my slides here? That's the next thing.
Not yet. I'll wait until they're there.
Okay. All right. So let me know when you see them, and I will begin.
They were there and then they went again, so I think you're going to have to reshare them for us. Sorry about that.
Okay. Let me retry. Sorry for the glitch. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Right when it got to my picture, it lost me, so that just shows the camera doesn't like me too much. Here we go. How about now?
You are indeed fabulous. And just
Right.
need
How
to
about
make
now?
those full screen. Oh no, we've gone again.
Oh no.
Obviously, yeah, a bit flicky.
All right. One more time for
One more
good
time,
measure.
third time lucky.
Yes, I hear third time's a charm, so we'll try it again. Okay. It seems that when I go to presentation, we run into a problem. So let's see if I can do this without running into a presentation mode problem. Right. Can you lose me again?
Only just now. Yes, we've lost you back again.
So we're having a little technical problem with when I do the share in presentation mode. So let's just do it in build mode. And sorry about the technical glitch, but
if you share your entire screen, Hamid, and you go off, so that's another way of doing it. So just try that.
That's what I've been doing. So
yeah, rather than the application window.
All right, how about now? Can we see my screen?
We can. Let's try that.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it this way. Sorry for the glitch. I promise my presentation will be better than my technology. So how about that? So a little bit about me before we get started. Got about 30 years in advertising and media. That's a very long time, and kind of age myself here. And I lead Stirista's products and marketing teams. So not only do I get to talk about it, but I actually get to use our stuff, so which is very cool. So a little bit about Stirista before we get into the meat and potatoes. We've been around for about 11 years. We are backed by a company called Wavecraft Growth Partners, so we do have some funding there. And we have one of the largest repositories of consumer identities and attributes. And why that's important, you will find out shortly. Okay. So now getting into the meat and potatoes and why I am here today. So, you know, just like you guys, I am a B2B marketer, right? We focus on that. And some of the things that we see that are, you know, challenges for us is, you know, things change a lot, right? People change jobs. Now with the current state of what's happening out there with the pandemic and the world as we see it, there's a lot of mixtures of home address and business address. You know, generally, you try to keep it more of a professional profile targeting versus bringing in, you know, personal profiles. How do you mix that? And then, you know, titles and emails as people change jobs and do things, titles and emails are out of date, right? So these are some of the challenges I face, and I'm sure you guys are facing as well. So, what we look for and what we kind of say is the main thing to look at is identity, right? So you want to know, what's going on with your customer, who your customer is, and the identity becomes the backbone of the digital journey, right? What I mean by that is you can pull data from different places and kind of fuse it together and create this persona, right? So you can do it for multiple different things. You can link from professional data, you can link from consumer data, social data, and bring your customer files into play. Bring them in together, kind of fuse them together into the spine, and you can then get really enhanced data sets and use it for things like suppression when you run your campaign, so you don't waste impressions on something where you already have an existing customer. You can start creating segments based on titles and on SIC codes and things like that. And it also gives you the capability to link to personal profiles, right? So especially when a lot of people are working from home, you have to start building that link and connecting the professional and the personal profiles together. So as we go into this backbone, this identity spine becomes a very, very important part of any type of marketing and future-proofing what you do with your campaigns. And then the biggest thing that we see from campaigns is you have the identity spine, you have activation. There's other components that you have to look at as well, right? To be successful, it's just not one piece. Everything has to work together in harmony. So you take your identity graph, you have the spine, you have the backbone. Then you have to make sure that you can onboard offline data and turn it into online data, so then you can use it for activation. We at Stirista, our activation is digital email. We stay out of the TV space or print or radio, but generally we focus on email and then digital, such as CTV and display type of things. Once you have that, then you get into, is my campaign successful, right? So I've taken my identity, I've generated my audience, I've onboarded my data, converted it from offline to online, I've activated it across email and digital. Now you have to be able to attribute, right? So, account for all the different traffic you have out there and look at whether you were successful or not. Did I hit my audience? Did I generate the web traffic that I wanted? Did I produce the sales results that I was looking for, right? So a lot of us in marketing in our business, it's all about lead gen. It's all about demand gen. So did I get that demand for my sales team? Did I generate the leads that I wanted? What is my cost per lead, right? All those things come from the attribution part. And then, the reporting to take that around and kind of create a closed loop. So take all the learnings that you have and feed it back into your identity, into your audience, and then rinse and repeat, right? So it's an end-to-end process. It's not just one. Any one of those components missing makes it very difficult for your campaigns to be successful. So what we've been finding here at Stirista is CTV has actually become a really nice channel for us for reaching our audience. Most people think when they do B2B and you do digital, you generally focus on display. And, if you're trying to get the CFO, you hit them on the Financial Times, right? And you put a banner out. But what we're finding with CTV is that it's become a really good channel because it's 100% addressable, right? It's digital, but it's on the big screen. So, you can target based on identity. You can find that CFO, but instead of finding him on the Financial Times, you find him watching CNN or his favorite movie her favorite reality show, whatever it is. I don't want to get into that kind of stuff, but you can target that identity. And cool things about CTV that other things, you can skip that digital ad, might not even see it as you scroll. You might miss that online ad, or something else, or email goes to your junk mail. But an ad on CTV cannot be fast forwarded. So if you're watching that show, the only way to get out of it is change a channel or turn the TV off, right? So it becomes a really good mechanism to get your message out. People have to watch it. They might get up and go and grab a sandwich or something, but how many times are going to do that? So it gives you that capability of getting your content, what you want to say, out in front of eyeballs. And then it's attributable, right? Because it is addressable, it is targetable, and it is you can send it to the audience you want. Then you can also measure an attribute against it, right? So you can you can put tags on your website if you're e-commerce and see, okay, how many people that saw that was delivered an impression and saw my ad came to my website? How many of those people that I showed an ad to showed up at my shoe store, right? All that kind of attribution is available because it is addressable and targetable, which makes it a very unique experience on the big screen. Generally, I came from the world of TV, and back in the day, it was all spray and pray, right? Just try to find eyeballs and try to calculate GRPs and rely on 40,000 Nielsen boxes to tell me whether my campaigns were successful or not. Now it's you can hit millions and millions of eyeballs, do it effectively and targetably and addressably, and then measure it. So it's becoming more and more a part of how marketers are hitting that. Either from an ABM perspective or from a title perspective or industry perspective, a new way to get the messaging. Okay, and the other thing with CTV is people are working at home more now, right? So I've been consuming a lot of CTV. You should never put yourself in that position, but in this case, I'm like a lot of others where I'm working from home. I do everything from home, hardly ever leave the home. So, I'm getting more and more email messages, more and more, hybrid work schedules. Even when we return to the office, or be, only a couple of days we're in the office, the rest of the time we're remote working from home, or, we're working from our mom's house, we're working, in a vacation house, or whatever it is. It gives you an opportunity now to kind of link that personal identity with that professional identity and provide an engaging presence where people are spending more time. So again, it's become a leading way to get in the message in front of the eyeballs because of the change in how people work. Just some statistics, right? So ad spend in CTV last year was $8 billion, right? That's a lot of money, but the majority of it was B2C, right? It was your auto dealer trying to sell you the latest SUV or whatever CPG product. So even though there was a lot of spend on CTV, there was not a lot of B2B spend on CTV. But there were a lot of people that watched CTV. 184 million people viewed programming within CTV, right? And they all have titles. Well, most have titles and jobs and all the same things, right? So, whether you hit them to buy the latest SUV, or you hit them to, be a B2B customer, and they're still IT manager, and they're still a CFO, and they're still, whatever titles that they might have. And a lot of them also kind of look at their mobile devices. So that means you don't want to get out of display and just go 100% CTV, but it makes it effective because there's concurrent watching. So you can start creating campaigns that tie multiple mediums together, right? So you can put an ad up and somebody sees it. If they're interested, they'll still go to a site, or they'll still surf, and they'll still visit your website and check out your product, right? So there's a lot of concurrence that's happening with CTV. Okay. Reporting, is easy, and it makes it very simple to optimize, find out what's working, attribute that by campaign, and make changes on the fly, right? So if certain creatives are working within certain audiences, you can heavy up there. If certain certain things are leading to more visits on a website, you can heavy up there. Everything is done, mostly through programmatically through a DSP. So reporting is very granular, and it's second by second, right? So if your DSP does not provide you second by second, time to change a DSP, give me a call, I'll help you out. But what it does is it allows you to look at that data immediately on the big screen and make the changes you need. A lot of B2B still use linear TV, and you're a financial company trying to target stockbrokers to pitch your mutual fund. You might still do it on the TV, but that linear ad doesn't get you data right away, right? You got to wait at least a day, maybe more, before you get the statistics, and even those statistics aren't granular. And so something like CTV, you get the same message, you get better targeting, and the reporting is all granular and available to you second by second. Almost everybody has a dashboard you can look at and be able to optimize your campaign almost instantly. Attribution, continuing with reporting and optimizing. A lot of the attribution you can do, again, is tie back to multiple different things. So some of the things that we do and we work with our clients on is attributing back to either e-commerce or website visits, foot traffic, or sales and leads left, right? So if you have data, if you can tag your website and you can identify who's coming to your site, you can take that information, match it back against what you have, and you can do this almost instantaneously. You can look back to see, are my campaigns leading to what I want, right? So are we getting the CTV impressions to the audience we want, and what percentage of that audience that we were targeting came to our website? How successful was it? And then be able to fine tune it and be able to change it, be able to measure it and allocate money against it. So, that's one of the big things. Again, on the TV screen in the family room or living room where you're watching TV, you can be fully addressable, measure things, and make the changes you want, or keep doing what you're doing because things are successful. Same with foot traffic, right? So you can go to different, if you're running a shoe store and you want to see how successful your campaign is, you can do small audiences, you can check it out. CTV makes it easier. It's not like, I came from the cable world where you had to buy zones or you had to buy, a certain amount. Here you can get pretty small, test it out, and scale it as you grow, right? So it gives you that capability of starting small and growing. Okay. So getting to some takeaways before we get into questions. Some of the things that we look at is, B2B marketers, you need to have the capability of targeting your customers at the home office, right? So, contextual is great. You can get a lot of stuff through contextual and do it through, display ads. But you got to find other mediums where you can get your customers to see your media, to interact with your media, to get their attention, and be able to do it when they're at home. And again, CTV is a great way to do that. It is an addressable way to effectively reach that B2B audience at home, right? So, I do marketing, right? If somebody's trying to reach me as a marketing leader, I watch Amazon Prime, I watch HGTV, I watch all these shows on my connected TV through my Apple TV box. And now you're reaching me when I'm watching the shows, not just, if I'm happen to be on that contextual site, right? So it is very effective of reaching home office. It's very effective at reaching your B2B, type of audience. And then, last part before we jump into questions here is the new age ID spines out there, the ID graphs. They allow the link between home and business, right? That's very important. You don't want to be, especially now with cookies going away and Apple with the 14.5 release with Maids, and you don't have a whole lot of mobile targeting, that's kind of going away. Now I heard today that Android's going to be doing something similar in the next few months. So what you need is a really good ID graph or ID spine that allows you to link the home and business and be able to create your audiences in this new world, new generation, where, as things deprecate, you still have a way to reach your audience, right? So my takeaways are these three things: reach the home office, make sure you have a really good ID spine, make sure you're working with a good vendor to have that, and look at CTV as an addressable way to effectively reach your audiences when they're at home. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Any questions, comments, thoughts?
Very thought-provoking, Hamid. Really, it's really good because we are one person. We know that, with our work persona and our home persona. But now it's even more obvious. People can see. I haven't got a green screen. They can see my work office up in my Victorian attic. It's the new version of the servants' quarters. The office worker up in the.
There you go. I like that. I'm going to use that. That's good.
And really interesting, and I'm I've worked for years in this, particularly this sort of crossover of where you can use data intelligently to tell us where people are, and it can be so powerful. But do you think there's also a little bit of a threat? When I've got my downtime, it won't be tonight because, by the time I finish here, it's going to be late. I'm not going to be turning on the TV. But if I was, and I'd actually put my work hat behind me, how interruptive do you think this is? Or have you seen any brilliant intermeshing with clever programming for B2B that it's right, you expect to see it, as opposed to oh, no, I don't want that. I've literally just shut my laptop.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good question. So the whole thing about advertising is to be disruptive, right? You want to be in somebody's thought process. So people don't look at it from the perspective of I put work behind me, now I'm doing something else. And if those people don't want to see ads, they have a way of getting non-ad supported content, right? So they can get non-ad supported content, pay up subscription for it, and they don't get any ads, right? So, I do that. I have subscription-based stuff. If I don't want to see ad, I can watch, my shows and movies and things on that. But if you're getting ad supported, then you are, saying that I am ready to be disrupted. Show me what you have. And if I like it, I'll pay attention to it. If I don't like it, I won't, right? So, from that perspective, why not B2B, right? Why only, Ford SUV commercial? Why not, Fidelity Investments commercial to say, hey, you're a stockbroker, you're sitting watching the show, my mutual funds offer great returns. You should sell this to your clients, right? So, it's like for the longest time we haven't done that, right? We've been staying out of that realm. When I was at previous job, we sold cable TV inventory, And we'd started to see that in some of the cable TV inventory where we were getting a lot more of the B2B ads on linear. But you still don't see that in CTV. And, so part of what I wanted to do here was to say, hey, this is a great medium. You guys should look at it. Most of our ads, when I run our ads, I run them on CTV, right? So, to promote what we do, specifically for this reason.
And great example of that, ability for contextual and tying it together and being able to know that person coming to the website, multi-screening, we're all doing it, and just knowing it's that same person, that's massively powerful, as is the
Absolutely.
real-time reporting. Are
Yes.
your clients, because I adore real-time reporting, it's very exciting, but the reality I find is that actually often clients are not agile enough to be able to take advantage of it. I had one amazing client I worked with, B2B client called Seeker, who just knew they produce industrial roofing, rubber proofing. Of course, the time to run an ad is when it rains. That's when everybody knows when they've got a leak. Have you found any great examples of that, of contextual really helping and driving B2B?
So contextual for me is more of putting an ad with a certain type of media. Contextual from your what you're saying is like event driven, right? So we do have clients that do that type of thing where, if it's a heavy snow day, they'll run an ad about, hey, come to my site and rent a movie, right? That kind of thing. So we do event trigger based type of things, and that is stuff that you can do with digital. That is easy to set up. But going back to your real-time reporting, some people take advantage of it, some people don't. But the fact that you have that capability is something that's there, right? If you don't have the capability, then the point is moot. So the capability is there. Those who can take advantage of it, it's there for them to take advantage of, but at least we provide them that opportunity.
And in terms of, there's lots of people I'm sure listening to this, and this may be the first time they've really thought about it and using this, in terms of the where to start and doing some testing and in starting small. Any top tips there?
It's not as difficult as it seems. If you can run a display ad, you can run a CTV ad. It's just a matter of making sure you have a 30-second, video creative or 15-second creative that you can run. So it's more, just get the creative. Other than that, find a good partner to work with that can help you get set up and running. But it's no more difficult than running a display ad. For us, our clients have the capability of doing it themselves. Those that are strong in that can run their own ads themselves using our platform, or those who don't can come to us and we help them get it set up. So you got to have a good partner, and once you do that, you can start small and scale. There's, it's not something where TV or print where it's like you gotta produce 1,000 of these magazines, or you gotta buy X amount of airspace. You can't just run a couple of ads to get going, kind of thing.
So that's really reassuring, because I think often that people have been put off in the past, have seen it as hugely expensive, and of course digital's changed that, as you said. If you've got a great quality video, there's no reason why you shouldn't be there, and have a partner who you can help you with that. I think that cost barrier is perhaps a message that hasn't landed with everybody, that this isn't as expensive as you thought it was.
So exactly.
I won't put you on the spot and ask what the minimum investment should be, but I'm sure people would be very happy to reach out to you if they want to know more. That would be super. Really interesting, definitely thought-provoking. You're definitely ahead of us in terms of what's happening in Europe. I think that's an interesting learning for me, so I'm looking for more of that happening here. But super presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, and appreciate the time.